Alrighty, looks like we are going live on Facebook, on our 10 News app, YouTube, our OTT streaming platforms. We got you guys covered every step of the way as we're tracking our next tropical system. We had talked about the potential for a few days. Then yesterday it became a little clearer, a little more evident that this thing was going to get going in the warmer ocean waters there in the Gulf Stream, right off the East Coast. So thank you guys for joining us. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels. Let's get to what you guys need to know. So this is the 5 a.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center. They issue advisories every 3 hours, and every 6 hours at 5, 11, 5, and 11, they issue different tracks. So the next update that we get at 8 a.m. is going to be one that updates us on the storm's position, its intensity, things like that. Doesn't yet have a name. It'll likely be named Ophelia. What I'm seeing here with the storm over the past little bit is we've had, you see these thicker whites on the northern edge of it. That's thunderstorm activity that continues to blossom. So that's an indication that this storm is getting more organized and that it's developing in those warmer ocean waters. So let me take things pretty slowly for you guys. This is likely to become a tropical storm at some point today, if not at 8 a.m., then potentially at 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. Then it makes landfall heading into tomorrow morning right near Emerald Isle. So this will be a worse storm for North Carolina and for Eastern Virginia than for us. But as it continues to move toward the north, it'll gradually weaken a little bit before eventually being absorbed and moving farther to the north and east. So you can see this cone, right? We show this all the time with tropical systems. It represents anywhere that the center of the storm can be. So the center of the storm is likely going to be farther to our east. That's Halifax County, that's Danville, that's Roanoke, that's Lynchburg. So again, the worst of the storm, the highest wind gusts, the highest rain totals, those are going to be farther east of here. But for those of us in Southside and in Lynchburg, we'll see some occasionally strong wind gusts. We'll see some occasionally heavy rain. So I can't rule out sporadic power outages, but I don't see anything widespread developing out of this. I think that's going to be farther to the east toward Virginia Beach, Newport News, places like that. Potential for flooding to me seems to be pretty low. We could actually use some rain parts of the area in a drought, that including Roanoke, Lynchburg, and the Highlands. So it would take a lot of rain for us to see any flooding. So again, I don't see that being a major issue for us. Douglas, good morning. Thank you for watching and commenting on Facebook. Appreciate you guys tuning in this morning. By the way, if you have missed anything that I've already mentioned, stick around because I will go back again and kind of rehash what we're talking about this morning. So here's Future Tracker. This is 3 p.m. today, and you notice the clouds starting to get a little thicker to the east and then gradually thickening this evening from east to west. When you have storm systems in the northern hemisphere, their wind around them is counterclockwise. So with this storm being farther south and east, you're going to get the weather coming in from the east. Just a little tidbit for you there. Holly, good morning and happy Friday to you. Here's 8 p.m. So for some high school football action in and around Lynchburg and Southside, you have the chance for some rain along with some gusty wind. Let's take you, pardon me, into the overnight and into tomorrow morning, and you see some pretty steady rain. But anytime you're dealing with tropical moisture, you have the chance for some heavier showers embedded within that, right? You have the chance for some downpours and, again, some gusty wind. This is what radar may look like at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. In fact, I could see some rain being a little bit farther west of there. Just got the notification that we're live on the 10 News app. We have been here for the past few minutes. So for those of you that are just joining us again, I will go back and I'll rehash some of what we're talking about right now. Again, with tropical systems, you do have some breaks, some dry slots on the outer edges. So that is something that we will see at times late tomorrow and heading into late tomorrow morning, heading into the afternoon. Jenna Lynn, good morning, and you're very welcome. Thank you for watching the weather update. Then by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, most of your rain is going to be near and to the east of the Roanoke Valley, near and to the east of US 220. So your higher rain totals are going to be toward Lynchburg and toward Southside. St. Clair, good morning. Have a wonderful day to you as well, and a happy Friday. Now, as far as rain totals are concerned, Let's go ahead and fix the data a little bit there. I'm not looking at a ton of rain coming in, to be quite frank with you. Yes, there may be some isolated spots that see more than an inch of rain out of this, but that's more than likely going to be near and to the east of US 29. Where you see this blue, that is about 1/4 of an inch or less. I could see up to about 1/2 an inch in isolated spots, again, because when you're dealing with tropical moisture, you're going to have some heavier rain bands that the forecast data just doesn't really pick up on. But generally speaking, less rain to the west, more rain to the east, and you see there from Lynchburg to Southside about 1/2 an inch to 1.5 inches of rain. That spread out over 12, 18 hours is not going to cause widespread flooding. Again, Lynchburg, you're under a drought. You can kind of use this rain at this point, and same can be said for those of us in Southside. At the same time, got to watch out for the potential for some gusty wind, and I'm talking wind gusts about 30 to 40 miles per hour. Is that enough to go causing widespread power outages? Absolutely not. Is that enough to knock down some limbs to cause sporadic power outages? Sure, yeah, especially in areas east of the Roanoke Valley. That's something that we'll have to entertain, and that would mainly be overnight and tomorrow. In fact, this graph, what it shows you is from 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I would say really from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m., that's your strongest wind. Yeah, we'll still be pretty breezy at times in the afternoon tomorrow, but your strongest wind is likely going to be in the morning. And then gradually heading into tomorrow night, the wind is going to start to back off a little bit. In fact, if we want to get a little more detailed here, which we probably should, I'll show you the map here of the peak wind gusts during that time frame. And so for areas in the yellow, your gusts up to about 25 miles per hour. That's no big deal. It really isn't. That's actually kind of a typical fall day for you. But for those of us in the orange, near and to the east of the Roanoke Valley, you see wind gusts that could be between 30 and 40 miles per hour. So again, that's a little gustier than usual, but nothing we haven't seen before. It's just that combined with some rain is going to make visibility low if you're going to be driving out and about, and could also lead to, again, a few down limbs. Again, we do need the rain, so I do want to mention that. There is a positive to this. This is a good thing in some sense. It's just on the weekend, which I know a lot of you have plans. I know the Lynchburg, the festival in Lynchburg, the Beer, Wine, and Cider Festival had already announced a cancellation. We have more details on that, by the way, on WSLS.com. So I do think tomorrow's one of those days where you're going to spend a decent chunk of the day indoors. Thankfully, that's what college football is for, so it'll be a good day for that. Sunday, however, you'll have the chance to maybe get outdoors a little bit more. As this storm system moves away, we'll turn drier and we'll turn a little warmer, highs low to mid 70s. But nonetheless, we've got you updated on all platforms. Again, right now we're streaming on the 10 News app. You can download that and or our weather app. So for the weather app, look up WSLS 10 Weather. That is in your phone's app store. All right, time is 7:13. Let's backtrack again. For those of you who are maybe just joining and you missed some of the details, like what's up with this storm, what's the latest on it, what's the timing on the rain, we're going to go back through all that right now, and then we'll talk about today's forecast before I have to wrap things up, because we do have a live update at about 7:26 on the Today Show. So we have the National Hurricane Center calls this a potential tropical cyclone. I'm going to use layman's terms here and just say potential storm. Reason why they're issuing advisories, even though it's not technically tropical just yet, is because it's close to land. So this likely will become a tropical storm Ophelia, whether that's 8 a.m., 11 a.m., or 2 p.m. today. We do expect that transition to happen at some point this Friday, today. Reason why I'm saying that is here's the storm center, and you look north of that and you see these thicker shades of white. That means that the clouds are growing, that there's storms developing right around the edge, right around the center of the storm. So it's probably in the process of strengthening and of becoming tropical as it's moving through warmer Gulf Stream waters. So here we go into this afternoon, and there you see there's the chance for this thing to become Tropical Storm Ophelia. Then as we head into tomorrow morning, you're looking at landfall being likely somewhere near Emerald Isle in North Carolina. So the Outer Banks once again going to be dealing with storm surge, coastal flooding, heavy rain, gusty wind from yet another storm. And that'll be the case for the Virginia Tidewater and the Chesapeake Bay heading into Saturday and Sunday. This cone, it represents anywhere that the center of the storm can be. So the center of the storm, yes, that's the strongest part, but you do still have rain and wind that wraps around it. Tropical systems are pretty big. So yes, the worst of the storm is likely going to be to our east, but nonetheless, we'll see some rain, we'll see some wind. For Southside, that's where I think you see the most rain. That's where I think you see the gustiest wind. So isolated power outages, that is going to be a possibility for you. Now, as far as damaging wind gusts, that threat is low for most of us. The threat for flooding is low for most of us because, quite frankly, we can use some rain, especially for Wanda in places like Stanton. You're in a severe drought. You can use some rain. So you are going to see that. It's just not going to be a ton. It's a step in the right direction, but you will see some rain starting with tomorrow morning in Stanton. So let's go ahead. Future tracker. This is 3 p.m. today, and you notice that things are mostly dry for us. In fact, if you have our weather app, one of my alerts just came out, which is a 1-minute video giving you everything I'm telling you right now. So if you're crunched for time, you can go to the weather app and watch that, or if you have some time, stick with me here on the live stream. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., we'll start to see some rain moving into areas like Lynchburg and Southside. So for high school football, if you're in the New River Valley, I'm not concerned about rain for you. If you're in the Highlands, I think you're mostly dry. Roanoke's kind of borderline, but Lynchburg and Southside, I would plan on some rain gear for high school football action this evening. I would plan on some rain gear for at least part of the day tomorrow. This is heading toward about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and you see rain wrapping around this system. You also notice it's coming in from the east this time around. So most of the rain is steady. Most of it, in my opinion, is beneficial, but there will be some heavy pockets from time to time, and there will be some gusty wind along with that. And I'll show you where the stronger gusts will be and when they'll occur coming up in just a few seconds. Heading into tomorrow afternoon, most of our rain is going to start to pivot and move toward Lynchburg, Southside, Lexington, Stanton, so areas along into the east of US 220. Tomorrow evening, you're going to see most of the rain. Withville, Hillsville, you're not going to see that much heading into tomorrow evening. So as far as rain totals, you're looking at more east, less west. So in the green, that's an inch or more. I could see that being slightly farther to the west than what this model is showing, but nonetheless, it shows you 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches east of the Roanoke Valley. In the Roanoke Valley, the New River Valley, you see anywhere from trace amounts to 1/2 inch of rain out of that. So again, that's not really cause for concern of any widespread flash flooding, but you may have some ponding on roadways for areas in this green. So that would be mostly near and to the east of Danville. As far as the wind is concerned, that's going to start to pick up tonight. Now, this is data for Southside. So for those of us near and east of the Roanoke Valley, could see some wind gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. That combined with rain could lead to maybe some small limb damage, sporadic power outages, nothing widespread, and also limited visibility if you're going to be out and about driving. So just something to keep in mind through at least late tomorrow morning, late tomorrow afternoon into the evening. That's when the wind is gradually going to start to back off from west to east. Let's go ahead and show you the peak wind gusts. So where you may need to weigh down any kind of empty trash cans or hanging baskets, that's right here in the orange. Farther to the west, probably not so much. It'll be a little breezy at times, but I think it'll be a little gustier for those of us here in the orange. Really quickly before I have to go, let's wrap things up with a look at today's forecast. You see occasionally some clouds and fog right now in Withville. High clouds continue to drift in from the east, and you see that on the bottom part of the screen there in Roanoke and in Martinsville. Today's not as warm. Today will be in the 60s in Floyd and in Hillsville. Everywhere else is about 70 to 75. That's a few degrees below average for this time of year. Here's your high school football forecast. Temperatures in the 60s. Cloudy with rain pushing in from the east. I think most of our rain this evening is going to be toward Lynchburg and Southside, and then overnight it moves in from east to west. Tomorrow, temperatures are not going to move very much. Your average high is about 78 degrees in the Roanoke Valley. We're going to be about 10 to 15 degrees below that. Tomorrow is also the first official day of fall, and it's going to feel like it. Temperatures only in the 60s, feeling like late October to start out the weekend, but then by Sunday, we're in the low to mid 70s. That is the wrong 7-day forecast. Let me load the right one, and then we'll get out of here and enjoy our Friday. So there is your extended forecast. Sunday's drier. We're in the low to mid 70s by then, mid to upper 70s Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, again turning cooler, high 65 to 70 with occasional showers. Hey guys, appreciate you joining me for this live Appcast. Time now is coming up on 7:21. I've got to get ready for a live update on the Today Show. I'll see you guys back on 10 News at noon. In the meantime, have a great rest of your Friday, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.